The new record that you did 4 months ago did really well. Infestation.
Yeah,
Are you
thanks.
touring now or doing spot dates?
We just finished. We've been out with Scorpions this past summer.
By the way, I got some emails from people saying, "Dude, RATT kicked the Scorpions' ass." You know,
I wouldn't ever say that because those guys are so legendary and
well, they are. But
fabulous
you
on
guys are
stage.
legendary too.
I mean, you know, we do what we do. They do what they do. They're
Right.
extremely polished and great. And
They are
you know,
polished.
It was a great tour. The record
Was it?
has been received very well, live and from on a critical level from critics and magazines and fans and that sort of thing.
It's a great record.
Thanks.
Yeah,
We're all proud of it. It turned out, pretty way above our expectations of what, because it was going to be. Because really, in all honesty, we would write the rhythm, the music, and Steven would be busy writing melodies and lyrics, and we didn't know what it was. It's not like we would go in and rehearse each song every day.
with all five guys.
You know what I mean? We
Right.
wrote the music, and he would take it home and write. So
Right.
by the time we recorded all the music, it came back to us after he went in and did his vocals, we were out of the studio.
Right.
So I got the thing, it was fresh to me as well. I was like, this is really good. He did a
Sometimes
great
it's
job.
better
So-
that way, though, and you have the history with each other, so it's more.
Some great history
Well,
and some rocky
yeah.
times
Well,
history.
It can go either way. I mean, this
Right.
one tended to go, everybody's thumbs were up, and or it could go like, well, I'm not crazy about this, but it is what it is, and singers have their way of doing their job, and it's sort of like I gotta feel what I'm singing lyrically and melodically, and if you don't like it, go fuck yourself.
'Cause I was going to say, when you reunite for a new album, if you didn't like something, is it hard to go to someone that you worked with for that long to say, you know what, I'm really not feeling this, or do you just kind of deal with it?
Well, if you got the time, if you're in in pre-production, then you can do that. And for example, I have a couple songs. I wrote 6 songs for that record, and I demoed them up, played everything on it, guitars, bass, and all that. I didn't sing, but I had melodies and lyrics, which I would sing. I gave Steven the lyric sheet and sang the melody, so he would play the rhythm track and then had me sing along to it, and he said, well, if I dig it and I feel it, then I'll do it.
Right.
Subsequently, he chose what he put on it, and I liked it, so it was like,
What was it? Look down below.
Sometimes she needs some help.
Way down below, or look down.
Look Out Below.
Yeah, look out below.
Yeah,
I
Look Out
love
Below.
that
Thank
song.
you.
That's a great song.
Is that the one you wrote?
yeah, that's one
Okay,
of them.
good.
But
Yeah, it's
everybody
really good.
contributed to that record, and it was a definite big-time group effort, including Michael Biscat, our producer. He put a lot of input in that as well, and his team in the studio, his recording studio in Virginia Beach. And it was, which was
Virginia
amazing. It was right on the beach.
That's where you
And
recorded
Virginia
the
Beach
record?
is a cool place. They got oysters on the half shell everywhere,
Oh,
king
yeah.
crab legs, gasoline soup.
mushrooms,
Wow.
drinking and everything.
Acid.
No, it was really amazing. And this place is pretty removed. It's like actually a peninsula. You'd have to drive from Virginia Beach all the way around, and then it was right across the bay from it. But it was removed to the fact where, if you wanted to go out, you had to drive all the way back and around, make this big loop.
Oh, wow.
So we
So
kind of
you hung there. You
yeah,
didn't
we
go
did
back to
a
the
lot. And so we were pretty focused. We would finish, we'd get up and generally in the morning have coffee and whatever, around 11, start recording at 1 till 9 at night.
And then
or
have
8
fun.
or whatever, and then barbecue right on the
Sounds
balcony.
great.
It was bitching. Yeah.
How
we
long did the record take?
For me, 4 days, and then I split, and those guys. But the whole thing in general, probably the recording end of it, about 2.5 months.
And for those people who don't know, they now have Carlos Cavazo in the band, who's
great
Quiet
Carlos.
Riot fame. And you know what? I saw, RATT about 2 or 3 times with Carlos, and I think this is the best lineup of RATT that I've ever seen.
Right.
I mean, Carlos and Warren just work great with
Yeah,
each
they're-
other.
it's
And
just-
Carlos looks great on stage.
He's great. He's
Yeah,
really
he's-
fun to work with.
And he's a super
great.
nice guy. I mean, I've known
guy.
Carlos since about 82, 83. So, I mean, this is, like I said, the best lineup of RATT I've seen,
So can all your fans expect another RATT record?
I think so.
Many more,
yeah.
right?
Actually, I just
Absolutely.
received yesterday the first initial cut of "Eat Me Up Alive," which is the second video we're doing for this record. And
Because you just shot your first one, right?
well, that came out, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. But now
Right.
we have another one coming out. But the Dave Rath, our guy from from Roadrunner Records, you know, sent me the email and the video to look at. And I wrote back, I go, well, okay, great, this looks good. Here's my comments. So when are we cutting the next record? So he's like, in a few months.
Hey, you know what? I want to talk to you. You are now an author/publisher because you just came out with your first book, Tales of Rapid.
I saw it. Looks great.
But see, you only gave me.
That was just handed to me.
You only gave me credit, I think, for the back cover, not the front cover or something.
All credit.
Okay, well, hold it so they can see it.
Amazing.
And you know what?
Zloz Hour, God.
I'll probably scan it and get a good scan so we can see, because I hate when they hold this shit up, but you can hold it up. So anyway, this is Bobby's biography, or should I say autobiography, because he wrote it himself. And I actually, me, Mr. Illiterate, read this book from first page to cover. It actually held my attention, and I'm not a big fan of reading stories and stuff like that, but it was a good book because I've known Bobby so long, so it was interesting to hear him talk about Don Dawkins and getting along with the guys, and Roger Romeo, who I never go to my Facebook page, but he sent me a Facebook thing and said, dude, can you believe it? I've known you 30 years. Because I shot him, I guess it was Romeo, right?
Everybody's known you 30 years. I mean,
well, what was that? How long ago?
And everybody does a Zloz Hour imitation.
Wait a second.
Brett, fucking tuck that fat face in. CC, you look blonde fucking Crosby. I mean, we all get yelled at by this guy. I have no idea.
But wait.
We shoot with him.
If you've known me 30 years, that only puts you to 1980. What about Ted Nugent, who's known me since the 70s, or Jim Dandy, Black Oak, Arkansas? Hot and nasty. As a matter of fact, Chucky, you sort of look like Jim Dandy.
And I'm hot and nasty.
I don't know about that, but you know, so anyway.
There's a lot of great people in this book. I mean,
tell us a little about this. Why did you do this book?
Well, you know, I mean, it's, I mean, different people that I've associated with on a friendship level and meeting.
You didn't talk about me in the book.
Oh yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. I read it cover to cover.
You didn't read the DUI section.
Oh, I think I was too drunk. I think I had too many drinks that night when I was reading it.
No, I mean,
I like how it's personal. I mean, it's just a very personal.
Well, it's an honest, depiction and recount of my life up to date, and it's not something that focuses on anything that is going to embarrass anybody, it's not designed for that. But it talks about what we did as hanging out, like when the guys in Motley and RATT were hanging out all the time, us with Ozzy on tour, the Bon Jovi guys, me and John Bon Jovi and our wives met Keith Richards at his listening party.
I read that. That was good.
Yeah.
You said
that
he was cool too.
Amazing night, meeting Robert Plant in an elevator in England and things of that nature, just fun stuff. Taking the guys in Def Leppard on my boat to Catalina.
I read that. Yeah,
Right.
They got seasick.
Well, we could have gotten seasick. There was like 50-foot waves. It felt like.
Well, that's enough to make you seasick.
Victory at sea. I mean, the trip back home was pretty harrowing, but we had an amazing day. And I mean, we got off the boat and Tommy Lee was kissing the ground. He was so thankful to be back. It just turned out when coming back, you never know what the ocean's going to bring.
You're dealing with Mother Nature. We were meant to walk on this earth, not like go underseas in a scuba outfit or be on the water. That's for the fish and that stuff. I'm here on this land, I'm not a big boat fanatic.
I love boating and I love the ocean. You got to respect the ocean.
You got to have respect for
it. No,
but
the book is definitely, well, I wouldn't say no punches pulled, but I try to do it with tact and keep everybody's, but I want it honest too, I want
You have so many fans. I mean, it's just a great book for your fans to read, and
yeah, it's good. It's easy reading too. I don't think I'd like a book that Geddy Lee wrote because you'd probably need a UCLA, graduation diploma to read that, just like the Rush songs.
That's the shit that people want to hear.
Well,
in that book.
yeah,
it's fun.
I don't know. Everybody's really dug it. The people that I know that have read it have all resoundingly said the same thing. It's like, they're saying it's like I'm sitting there hearing you talk. I can hear your voice while I'm reading this kind of thing. And I also get most people, fans, and friends alike, saying once they start reading it, they can't put it down. That's not to prop myself out. I'm just happy that they are enjoying it,
Right.
And I don't know. It's still out there. You can pick it up on Amazon.com. or through BobbyBlotzer.com. And,
Can
Yes,
you get into
check it out.
Borders
It's a
or
great
anything like
book.
that, or Barnes and Nobles, or no?
you know,
Well, your website,
it's not
they can
at
go
this
to
point.
your website.
Yeah,
and-
BobbyBlotzer.com.
Yeah.
Don't you listen?
Amazon, it does it worldwide is available through Amazon, but at this point, you know, no, I haven't. You know, Barnes and Noble, it's going out through their website, but not in the stores at this
Right.
point.
Okay, that's
but
cool.
it's sold, you know, pretty decently.
Yeah, you told me it's
know.
some
That's
pretty
great.
good numbers, especially since you're self-publishing
Yeah.
it. But I know you'd probably like to get it picked up by a big publisher, like, you know, hint, hint, like Chronicle or Harper Collins, or
Why don't
Yeah,
you
that'd
take
be
it over
nice.
to your
you know what? They don't do
publishing company?
biographies because I'm trying to hit them up on my biography, which will come out one of
Oh,
these
okay.
decades. So.
Well,
Maybe you know
I
somebody.
mean, I'd like that for the reason of just having somebody else do the promotional end of it. You
Well,
know?
you're a rock star drummer. You don't have time to do that. It's time consuming to do that, mailing them out and stuff like that.
That when I first put this thing out, I had so many. I'm not even kidding. That I was showing up at this post office by my house, and they were looking at me like, "Who are you? What are you? Medium mail? What?
Yeah,
Porno?
medium mail, you know that's
Sending
the cheap
porno
one.
things out or something. I don't know why they're thinking that, but you know, I finally
They
told.
probably
this
saw
one
you
chick
on some
what it was.
porno flicks or something.
Yeah, well, that's next.
Yeah, that's nice.
Any takers? I'm going to tell you a quick story that this is in the book too. But my stepdad, he used to come to shows. He bought me my first guitar, which I traded for a drum set with a friend of mine because we would switch off playing drums and guitar, and I picked up the drums extremely quick, quicker than I was on guitar. But he started coming to shows and seeing us and doing arenas and stuff, and he would come out and he'd shake his head and he'd go, you know, Bob, I can't believe Yins are still making money with this noise. It's right.
I love that you just said Yins because I'm from Pittsburgh.
Oh, you are?
Yes,
Okay.
and I knew that you
Why,
were
oh,
born
yeah,
in
well, you-
Pittsburgh, so when you just said that, I love you.
That's hot.
Yes, he was born in
What's the
Pittsburgh.
word, Yins?
Yins. Instead of saying you, it's Yins.
Pittsburgh has its own slang.
Yes,
you know.
we have our own
Yeah, she's
slang.
Pittsburgh girl. Probably
Yes.
the prettiest one there. But.
I love Pittsburgh.
So anyway,
But, you know, I thought it was funny. He still considered it noise, you know.
You know
Just
what-
like my stepdad. Bob.
hold on. Do you remember those?
You are my stepdad.
Well, yeah. I'm everybody's dad. You know? So, hey, do you remember? The best was I remember when Steven's mom used to come out to the shows. Do you
Oh, yeah.
remember? She
We used to have to hold her back from going on stage.
And dancing.
She was so proud of her son. You
Oh,
know?
yeah,
She
Oh,
would-
that's
but she was
cute.
also belonged, I think, probably if we let her to the DUI club too, you know. So